Boss Baby. How are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to leave it at Grandma's? Are you going to hide it in the attic? Hello. Please come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Have a seat. We'll put a movie on for you. This is Movies at Grandma's House, where we look at the movies from the past to see with our modern eyes if it's still good and Grandma approves. And I'm your host, Isaac. Put that cookie down. Cookies are for closers. And who's joining me to review the movie The Boss Baby?
This is Seth. My parents always said that I had an overactive imagination, but I clearly remember the baby was delivered in a taxi.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I've had a very busy week, a lot of errand running and keeping myself busy, but it's been good.
It's great. Had kind of a long week. I'm a little tired, so if you feel like I'm slurring words or something, just be forewarned. But I'm doing good otherwise. I'm feeling pretty good. This is a movie that, by very popular demand, actually, on our polls, overwhelmingly voted for this. So thank you for voting for this to be the episode we covered. And again, make sure you're subscribed, all that good stuff, so you can join in on the fun of giving your voice to these polls, picking our next episode. We leave it up to you guys, and we love it. We love to see that. And just want to say as well, going forward, this is your warning. As far as you know, as much as we're talking from here on out, it's spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen this movie, be aware of that. But like we mentioned, we are covering the movie, The Boss Baby. So this was released back on March 31st, 2017. It had a budget of $125 million. The box office, it did pretty good. $28 million at the box office. And just kind of glancing around at the reviews overall, it looks kind of like middle of the line, but overall positive. Rotten Tomatoes is about 53%. IMDb 6.3. Google review users, they had at 74%. So not too shabby on the reviews on that end. So when it comes to this movie, this was back in 2017, but I'm interested. What are your first memories with this film?
So I know I'm grown up by age, but no one told my personality. So I watched this over and over after its release.
I didn't catch this one when it first came out. I remember seeing previews for it. I think of this more as like a Netflix movie, believe it or not. That's, I think, the main draw that I can recall of this. But I do faintly remember when it first released. I just, for whatever reason, didn't get a chance to catch it at the time. And that's the memories I have. I was also, if I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of a busy year. So I can see why I didn't really see movies, if at all, very much that year. But with that in mind, what were some of your expectations going back on the rewatch?
Well, honestly, I was going to try not to fall too hard, although it's a mighty task with all those power naps.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm hoping this is a good one for the kids. I heard this is a good family movie, with the kids and seeing their reaction as usual. I feel like I say it every time, but it's true. I just want to kind of have a good time. If I've seen it and it's a movie I regard as a classic, or I remember watching a lot, or in this case, maybe it wasn't something I really saw when it came out. It wasn't until later. So I just want to have a good time with my kids. That was kind of my expectations going into it. But before we do a plot rewind, let's pause just for a moment to hear from our sponsor.
Love movies as much as we do? Bring the experience of the big screen to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into classics, blockbusters, or indie gems, they've got something for every film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can get 15% off your order now. Just use code Grandma's House 15 at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today.
Right. So in this case, we're going to pull up our streaming service We're going to select the Boss Baby and press play.
A dress suit wearing, briefcase carrying baby pairs up with his older brother to stop the dastardly plot of a CEO of Puppy Co. This adorable story will warm your heart, make you think about relationships and life in general. Grab some snacks, sit back, and another movie at Grandma's house.
There you go. This is a more unique plot, I have to say. If you want to say something about this film, that's what kind of jumps out to me. But what are your first impressions as you're watching this movie?
There was something I couldn't really put my finger on it about this one. The story really touches my heart. That's definitely for true.
I think if you have siblings, and especially if you're the oldest, this probably is a relatable movie in some ways. Just having that open montage of his name is Tim. He kind of has, this attention from his parents because he's the only child, but it's that reality check of, oh, we're having another baby and you're going to have a sibling. I mean, that's, I think, very relatable. So I know a lot of people I've talked to are like, I love this movie because, like you're talking about, it has a touching plot. It has funny writing. This is DreamWorks. They're known for that. But that's kind of, I agree with you. It kind of has that touching story that's going on. What did you think about it's kind of, I wouldn't say like layered, but it's got a lot of different plot points going on. What did you think about the plot overall?
Very clever plot. At least I thought so. From the oldest brother's point of view, a new baby arriving, but not just any baby, a businessman and a boss at that. So there's a lot of layers to this one, like you said. Very clever and funny dialogue to go along and aid the storyline.
Yeah. And it's voiced by Alec Baldwin. He's done a lot of comedy, so it kind of matches his voice being in there. But this also has a lot of stars. I didn't realize that Tobey Maguire was the narrator. Did you catch that as you first watched it?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay. I was like, I didn't realize that was really him. And you have Lisa Kudrow, Steve Buscemi, but there's all these different characters. It's really fun to see their interactions. And again, going back to this plot of this baby that, it's this corporation, Baby Corp, and he's designated at the very beginning. There's like, you're going to be a baby or you're going to be a boss. And he's designated as this boss. So it's an interesting plot of like, this is where babies come from. And that's where I think it's, I guess, in a way, kind of that family film, because it's talking about, babies, where they come from or whatnot. But it's this fun, this is where they come from. It's this baby corporation. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing. What did you think of, the characters, though? Again, as I mentioned, there's quite a bit. Any of those stick out to you?
Well, the parents were great. The family was great. The baby's business partners were hilarious. The baby and the older brother really shined super bright in this movie. I really fell for the characters. I don't know if it was a combination of animation and the dialogue, but there's something about the storytelling that just really hit me.
Yeah. I would say the thing about this is the story, just it's unique. I think that's kind of the highlight to me as I'm watching it, and the characters, but I think the plot is just a unique one. It's just, I'll be honest with you, like when I saw previews for it, maybe another reason I wasn't in a rush to go see it, I'll just be frank, I was like, this looks silly. This looks kind of dumb. Like, I think this is not going to be really that great. But I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was a very solid story, and it makes it fun. It's this Puppy Co, like that's the villain, quote unquote, of the film. That's what's competing with this Baby Co, and they're trying to stop it from being taken over. And it's just, a lot of them rushing and going around. There's a lot of that in the plot to try and break it down. I mean, it takes some time, but I want to give them credit. Like, they did a good job with it. I thought it was just going to be so level, just here's a baby and he's a boss of the family, kind of that silly, mindless. But no, it's not. It's very clever, like you said. That's a good word to put. clever is how I describe the plot. But yeah, I really enjoyed that about it. I really enjoyed the characters. You mentioned a few of them. Then I think, of course, Ted is what he goes by. The boss baby. He's obviously the one that steals the show. But there's a lot of fun other babies. What'd you think of the other babies that are kind of like his crew, quote unquote?
Just really funny. To me, they kind of grew on me. Like towards the end of the movie, they really just they were very well stated, very well pronounced in the characters. Just too funny. Crack up every time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something you can enjoy too, is just the different characters. I'll go back to the voice acting. I mean, kind of touched on it. Yeah, Steve Buscemi, I always you mentioned his name. His name alone makes me laugh. So if you say he's a voice, it'll just make me chuckle. Give credit to Lisa Kudrow. She does a good job as the mom. She's recognizable when you hear her voice too. But yeah, they do a good job. I will give a hot take. I don't know if this is maybe the strongest of DreamWorks. I bet you some people will argue me on that. But when I compare it to other DreamWorks, I don't want to compare it, but I'm just kind of looking at it like it's good, but I don't know if it's quite as strong. And that's just giving my 2 cents. I don't fault you. I know a lot of people that are like, I love the characters in this. I think they're the best. I don't fault you if it is. I think for me, maybe it just didn't click as much, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does, because I'm hopefully not get a lot of hate, because all I heard was, I love this movie. I love this movie. And I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it clicked as much. So that's kind of how I feel about it on the character side. But I still think they're strong. There's some really funny quotes. You mentioned quotes. That's another thing I do like about this movie. What are some quotes that you enjoyed?
I've got one. The boss baby in the puppy costume. He goes, "I've never been so humiliated in all my life."
I think what it is there's so many quotes that are like, it's baby talk. He's the serious executive boss, the boss baby is, but then at times he's caught in this like, he's still a baby though. Like I think there's one part where he still is like, upsies, I need upsies or something like that. And that's just adorable. You can enjoy that. That's my favorite part, is like when he flips a switch, he's the boss baby, but then he just flips a switch. And little fun things, if you like kids or you're a parent, whatever, like the Binky, that plays a part in like the story of how they're able to be that inside baby coat. Stuff like that, I find that really clever. I go back to that again. It's clever. It's well written. So I think that's a lot of fun. It's one of those, if you go into this, you're going to have a lot of fun of know what to expect. I guess maybe I'll throw another negative. Maybe this isn't a negative for some, but there's a lot of baby butts. Wouldn't you agree, in this film? Do you happen to notice
that?
Maybe a little too much for me. I think for a lot of people, like, oh, it's cute, because I know some people love the babies and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. What else about this movie it stands out to you, or any other points though?
There's just something about it. I'll get more into that later. But it's just, for some reason, this really hit my heart. Every watch, and I wouldn't say that it's DreamWorks' best movie, but I would say it's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a well-crafted movie by all stretch. I was like, I think I'm on the outside a little bit, because I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't know if it's hitting on it. Maybe that's just my taste, but I still enjoyed this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I will give it credit. They include, if not my favorite, one of my favorite Beatles movies. That's kind of the connection with Tim and his parents, Blackbird.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed that. There's lots of little things like that. I think it is a moving picture, like you said. It's very touching. Just growing up, I think that's a way you can kind of describe this movie is going back to, again, Tim thought I'm this only child. He's coming to that, I'm growing up and maturing, coming to this realization that I'm not the only child and I'm going to have this responsibility. I do appreciate as a parent when they bring the boss baby home at first and they're getting no sleep and Tim's just like, why is this happening? And it's like, that is just spot on. Like, as a parent, how do you not relate to that? That's just great. So I love that scene. There's lots of scenes like that where, I mean, if you've had kids or you've been around kids, I think you can get a chuckle out of it because there's a lot of that. They did a really good job. I really appreciate the writers of this one. I think that's what DreamWorks has a really good line of going up to what you're saying. If you want to compare it, yeah, the writing is fantastic. It's wonderful. And I mean, again, the comedy chops, you got the actors in there. We go back to, I think they do a really good job on the casting. That's another thing I'll say about DreamWorks. This is no different. Like, they did a really good job on the casting. I don't have any issue, honestly, with it. It's like, I'm trying to think of anybody else that could play the boss baby. I mean, you could probably name off some, but I think Alec Baldwin just nailed it. I think along with all the other voice actors as well. So yeah, it's a fun time. I have to say it's just a really fun movie. But yeah, anything else or fun facts, anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a few fun facts. So when the boss baby is showing Tim the lamb and explains that there are newer, better toys now, his reference toy is an actual Voltron, a 1980s character now owned by DreamWorks.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Huh. I didn't catch that either. So that's pretty neat.
The baby's eyes change from blue to green and back again multiple times throughout the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because I think I read somewhere that babies' eyes, they'll change. So that makes a lot of sense because they'll sometimes fake you out. I've read that somewhere where, you think, are they going to have green eyes? Because in that first year, they're developing, obviously, but they have more of a neutral colored eyes. And so do you think they did that on purpose or was that a honest mistake?
No, I'm 100% sure there was a reason for it. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Maybe the animators forgot what color eyes. They had different animators and one got the different memo, but I'll go with I think it was for a reason. That's pretty cool.
You'll like the next one. So, though it proved to be a box office success, grossing nearly $500 million worldwide, it was a critical disappointment. This would be the opposite of DreamWorks Animation's next film, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, which was a critical success, but grossed only $125 million worldwide.
Interesting. That's kind of shows the expectation of studios right there because yeah. I mean, 500, whenever I see anything in the hundreds of millions, as long as you're not talking those big blockbusters that spent hundreds of millions, I think of that as a success either way. But yeah, you have these standards that these executives, these studios push out. And I could see that with this. This was probably thinking this is going to just knock it out of the park. We're going to make $1 billion like a lot of those Disney movies or other big animated ones. But I guess it does make sense. Yeah, at 500 million, that is kind of you're kind of disappointed. But I think it did pretty well. Like I said, I remember a lot of people talking about this movie and enjoying it. So at least the reviews are favorable. I mean, you got to look at it that way. It's not a disappointment by audiences. So
we reached the fun fact trivia question. Are you ready, Isaac?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess, right?
Okay, this is more of an easy one, I think. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The role of adult Tim went to Tobey Maguire, as you mentioned. But who else was considered? A, John Stamos, B, Patton Oswalt, or C, Seth MacFarlane?
That's pretty interesting. I could see all of them doing that. So if you came up with the other two, that isn't true. Good job, because that's actually kind of something's telling me John Stamos. I'm gonna lock that in.
Locking it in?
Yeah.
And the answer is, I did a good job, B, Patton Oswalt.
Oh, good job. I don't know why. Like, I guess the whole like grown up John Stamos kind of conducts himself that way. But
it's so funny that you mentioned that I did a good job trying to get those incorrect answers, because I slaved over this because I know you so well. And I was like, he's going to know which one is not real. And I was like, I have to really think about this. And I was like, well, John Stamos has done some voiceover work and Seth MacFarlane is known for his voiceover work. Okay. Yeah, so it was Patton Oswalt. He was considered for down.Tim.
That would have been a fun take. I thought Tobey Maguire did an excellent job, but that would have been fun. I mean, I love Patton Oswalt, and his voice is very distinguishable. And
yes,
I am picturing that now. That's really cool. That's neat, but it still worked out. Yeah, again, I give credit to Tobey Maguire. He did a great job with it. So awesome. You stumped me again. I'm 0 for 2 so far. I'm gonna have to pick it up here. So good job on stumping me. I will try much harder next time though. But good job, sir. So that was the trivia, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the reviews we're seeing out there, because we're interested to see what kind of feedback is going on. So Seth, what kind of reviews are you seeing?
So the first review I've got is Dave-McLean says the Boss Baby is pretty creative and a lot of fun. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's creative. I mean, what kind of film is like this? Again, with the plot and the premise. I think that's a good word too. Clever and creative. That's a good way to describe it.
The second one is Lisa Fortier said, a silly, funny animated comedy from the man that brought you Megamind. 6 out of 10.
Okay. So mostly with a 6 out of 10, they seem to like it there. And that is true. It is the same people that did Megamind. Going back to the comedy and that, if you're paying attention, you can kind of see that similarities. It's its own thing for sure, but yeah, give credit to them. That's the same team, so to say, for Megamind.
Buckle up for this last one. Iron Horse _4 said, cookies are for winners, but this movie is not quite a winner. At least it's not a stinky diaper. It's mostly fine. 6 out of 10. I was trying to get through that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
That's great.
Oh, that made me laugh so hard I had to put it in there.
That's a good one. Well, what was their rating out of 10? It sounded like they didn't like that.
6 out of 10.
Okay, so they still gave it a 6 out of 10. Okay. But they didn't seem as favorable about it.
No.
Obviously.
I think they just wanted to come up with that funny line. I think that's...
Kudos to them. Good job. I wouldn't have thought of something like that. I mean, I might have tried, but that was a clever one. So good job, sir. Yeah. Well, there's the reviews, kind of giving you an idea of what's out there, but let's get down to it. So we're going to start with you, Seth. I have to ask you, when it comes to the movie, The Boss Baby, how are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to leave it at grandma's? Are you going to hide it in the attic?
I will say I really enjoyed the story and the voiceover and the plot. I just have to take this home. I tear up every time I watch it. It's just so good.
Awesome. Yeah. I had a fun time with this, and my kids love this movie. I think, again, like you said, it's a very touching movie. It's got fun, but it's also got its serious moments. It's a very good, like I said, growing, coming of age in a much younger way, not like you're an adult, like those types of stories, but it's a fun movie for the family. I had a really fun time with this one. I really appreciated the writing, like I said. I think, if I'm going to be honest, maybe the animation or the style didn't click with me, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it didn't click with me, because I love your experience on it. It clicked with you, and I've heard that from several people. So that's why I'm like, yeah, that I could really see it with this movie. I would say it's more of a leave it at grandma's house. I would revisit this one again. I think it's a fun time. It's got what you want in an animated film. The kids are going to be laughing. There's a lot of your, poop jokes, a lot of the potty humor, but it's within good taste. I don't think they overdo it too much. Be advised, there's lots of baby butts. That might be maybe that doesn't, but I was like, okay, there's maybe a little too much, but it's it's not like it ruins it or sours the experience. That's, I guess, if I'm going to have a thing to throw out there, just be aware of it. Maybe it bothers you, maybe it doesn't, but yeah.
If I could touch on something real quick, you mentioned the animation. The animation was very simplistic. And so I think that could be a turnoff for some people because of other movies that are coming out around this era had great animation. And so it's kind of, I want to say halting to see such simplified animation, but I think that was important to the storyline because it aids to the progression of the story. Like it's like a setting in the past, and you're looking back and you're seeing it as it progresses.
Yeah, that's well put. I agree with that. It's more on the simple side, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the animation is good. I think actually it's really good in certain spots. If you look, it's like, wow, that's actually really good animation. I think maybe there's certain styles I click with more. There's just something, maybe it is, like you said, the simplicity of it. Maybe it didn't click with me. So maybe I like more complicated. I didn't think I was, but I still think it's great animation. That just saying that, I'm not knocking it at all. It just didn't click with me. Maybe it's not my taste. Maybe, again, if you watch it, you're like, man, what are you insane? This is great animation. But but yeah, there's no reason not to check this movie out. You're going to have a fun time. It's great. So let's get, though, with that being said, let's make sure we get Grandma's rating. So what is Granny's family-friendly rating?
Granny's family-friendly rating for A Boss Baby is, drumroll, an A- for potty humor, but it's meant for all ages.
There it is. So yeah, it's just in good fun. Nothing really there. I wouldn't be too concerned for the kids. For Grandma, I think might even laugh at some of the potty humor in there. I don't think it's in poor taste or anything like that. It's all fun. It's, again, going back to with babies, it's a lot of baby humor. So that's why I think it works. It works really, really well. So yeah, I can't think of much about this film that the whole family shouldn't enjoy in some shape or form. So there you go, folks. We have another film in the books. But before we wrap up, Seth, why don't you tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as email us at movies@grandmashouse@gmail.com. We are on Patreon, so become a member. We have a newsletter, so sign up and get registered for our contest. We are brought to you by movieposters.com, so type Grandma's House 15 at checkout for 15% off.
There you go. Yeah, be sure you sign up for our newsletter. There's lots of goodies in there, so you don't want to miss out. If you want to be up to date with all things movies at Grandma's House, that is the place to be. Well, that will do it for our time at Grandma's, but don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.